Hello, everybody. Welcome to my WNBA rants. I've been away for a while, but I said I wasn't going to be doing in season because it's like, it's a game, they're games, there's really nothing. They stopped to talk about, but it's like, games, people win, people lose, really nothing fantastic about everything. The games. They are good games, but they are games, like I said. People win, people lose, different takes. But I was like, yeah, so I'm sure you guys have like podcasts that you listen to that gives you thoughts about what's going on. And I don't think I had so much to say, but I was like, no, at the end of the season, there's definitely a lot to say. So the season has come to an end. What thoughts? What do I have against this season? It was a good season. Definitely better than last year in the bubble. Although I did enjoy last year also. Actually enjoyed last year, but I also enjoyed this year because I think it was more like the accessibility of the games. There were more games on TV, and the competition was better. Honestly, it was. There was a lot of like narratives around a lot of like the narrative around a lot of teams were very good. Like there was a lot of like chatter. There was also a lot of drama. There was a lot of drama within teams, and so just a lot of like it was more than the games. Last year was more like uh, social justice, and that was basically it. It was good. I liked the social justice angle. Of course, there was so many things going on, so it kind of made sense. But it wasn't there. But the narrative around the teams were not like crazy like that. It was very last year was very straightforward. Seattle was going to win the championship, um, because they were really the only people that had their own crew and they were all the best. And there were some terrible teams last year, like New York, Dallas, Phoenix. There's so a lot of funny times. There's so many injuries, but like this year, it's like everybody was like. Not everybody, but like most people were healthy. The players, like the big boys, like Liscan Bay, China Charles, John Paul Jones. Which other person was not there last year that was there this year that really made a difference? Tiba Fowles, she was kind of in and out last year, but she really came in this year and played Brittany Griner. Nika was around last year. So it was like people did like they did like Tiffany Hayes, which I really, really liked. So there were like a lot of players that didn't play last year played. So it just made it very interesting and it kind of made the team dynamics very, 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 very interesting. And there were so many storylines like, oh, how would this one perform? How would this one perform? So it was really, generally, I really enjoyed it. I think there was a lot of it kind of moved the needle. Like they said, 2020 was a good season because awareness, a lot of people, because that was my first WNBA season, honestly, in 2020. I mean 2019 was in and out, but like 2020, I was like, okay, no, let me watch a WNBA season. So 2021 is like the second WNBA season that I'm interested in, and I think they kept momentum. Like they maintained the momentum. It didn't get like worse. Sometimes you kind of get a dip in viewership. But for this season, it didn't get even got better. Like they got new fans, people got interested. They kept the momentum, so that's good. So in 2022, they can only build from here. So I like that they didn't dip; they actually built from here. So all in all, it was a really, really good season. It was a good season. Before I get to my thoughts, so I just want to talk about. So before I get to my thoughts on each individual. So let me just talk about the player awards because I know each individual teams. I want to talk about each team's performance, and then let me talk about the. So before I start, let me just talk about the player awards because the number one. Before I even start, let me talk about this GOAT situation that everybody's talking about. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It's terrible. Like I like the W25. Yes, I like it. I wish they could do an event that brings all of them together and really honors them. Or do like a documentary. That's about WNBA. They bring these initiatives, but they don't follow through. Like, how do you? Okay, W25. Oh, great. 25 greatest players in the WNBA history. Great, fantastic. So, what are we supposed to do with them? So, you just put a name and it's carried for 2 social media cycles and that's it. Like, these are your 25 best players. Do something, like create a documentary, bring all of them to the table, do an event, do something that just makes it interesting. You can't just list 25 players in your 25th anniversary and that's it. What am I supposed to do with that? How many times they did 20, they did 25, they'll probably do 30. Like, seriously, do something, like, use it for publicity. Like, that's what they did for Commissioner's Cup. They really didn't put in a little bit of thought or weight behind it. Like, now, okay, W25, yes, it's great, nice, 25 player. What else supposed to be that? Do something, create a documentary, just something that at least makes other people interested in these 25 players. Because you just listed a bit of names. Most people don't even most people don't even know half of the people there. Honestly, I only know the players that play right now. I don't know Yolanda Griffin. I have no idea who she is. I don't know Sherry Smokes. I don't know. I mean, I've read about her, but like, she doesn't just resonate with me because I'm like a new generation WNBA player. I only know the players that are playing at the moment. You get, and I know, of course, respect the old and all. But for you to respect them, you got to do a little bit of history behind them. You can't just expect people, go and read about it. Nobody has time for that. Do something behind and make it interesting, and put a bit of history in it. In my opinion, I think you should have done a documentary for that W25. And then I feel that was enough. Just to, I don't know what they did now, decided to vote for the goats. Like, everybody has their own goat, in my opinion. Like, for me, of course, without saying, Sue Bird is my goat because, number one, she was one that made me be interested in WNBA. Like, she was the first player. I was like, oh my God, who is this? I want to know more about her. And then I started following her, and then I watched her games, and of course, it led to me being interested in WNBA. So for me, she's my goat because, number one, one of the fact that she made me interested in WNBA. She had longevity. I mean, you don't play. She has played with every player in the W25. If that is not greatest of all time, literally, she embodies greatest of all time because she has been consistently great in 2 different decades. So she played in the 20s. She came in 2020. So that's 20s, 2002, 2010, 2020, and she's still there and she's still contending. So I give it to her. She's my goat for me. But of course, she has, of course, I mean, no MVPs, no defensive player of the year, all that schematics and stats. So I can understand why she's not somebody else's goat. And that's understandable. Everybody has a different goat. That's all. Like, this goat thing it's not this smartest of ideas because everybody is different. So even if you name one goat, this millions of people are going to say, no, this is not my goat. You name one, another person, you put the person that everybody, Diana Taurasi is good. For me, I don't think she's my goat. For other people, she's on the undisputed. Or for other people, Candice Parker, I have no idea why Candice Parker will be in that conversation, but apparently she is. So they put Candice Parker there. Why not? Everybody will make a case for it. There's a case for everybody in that list, honestly. Apart from the young ones like Brianna Stewart. Even Brianna Stewart is a case for her, honestly. There's a case for everybody. Everybody can be a goat. So I was like, the whole thing is dumb. Just do a documentary and everybody should be happy. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm still voting for Suberto. Hopefully she'll be the one, but I doubt it. I think it's dangerous. It's like Tamika Catching is actually not a bad idea for a goat. She's just not as popular as because she's probably not still playing. But if they give it to Tamika Catching, I think she definitely deserves it, even though she's not my goat. But she's a what do I call it? Controversy-free goat. Like, everybody will be like, oh yeah, she's the goat. So yeah, she's okay if they put it wrong. All right. So apart from the goat one, I want to talk about the season awards. So for me, mine, of course, like I said, these things are subjective. But for me, MVP this season is Jonquil Jones. Without a doubt, is JJ. Does she have the numbers? Probably not. I mean, of course, I'm sure Brittany Griner's numbers are better than hers. She has the rebounding numbers too. But maybe when you come to scoring, she has some funny games that I did not understand. Like, she would be like getting 4 points, like ridiculous. So she's had some really weird games. which I guess everybody has that sometimes. But you cannot deny the impact she has brought on that Connecticut something. This is a team. This is a team that is 6-26. They've lost only 6 games this season. That is crazy. And apart from that, I mean, that's crazy by itself. That's so no doubt. But the thing of was nobody saw them coming. Like nobody, if you had told me, oh, Connecticut Sun was going to lose only 6 games and win 26 games and be first seed undisputed, like they'd know if nobody even came close to that number 1 seed, I would have said, you guys are lying. But I mean, that's exactly what they did. They came and she was the only missing piece. Like honestly, if Adisa Thomas had been on that Connecticut something this year, I don't think they would have gotten to where they got to. They won't have number 1 seed. I'm sorry. I mean, she's good, but she's not JJ. JJ is something else. Like she's complete. She is. I would have said a close one would have been Brittany Griner, but Brittany Griner is she can be a bit. She started eating her stride towards the end, so that's why her numbers are not that coming up like that. But I would have said Brittany Griner. Honorable mention: Silver Fowles, not bad. Brianna Stewart, very inconsistent, but definitely Aja Wilson. I hope she doesn't get it, but she definitely has the numbers. But honestly, the undisputed MVP, and if the WNBA they don't want fights, just give JJ the MVP and let everybody be happy. She deserves it. Number 1. Number 2, our team deserves it. Number 3, she might just win the championship. So MVP and championship. I mean, when Brianna Stewart, when they won the championship in 2018, Brianna Stewart was MVP. When this thing, what season was this? When Elena Daldon won in 2019, Washington Mystic won the championship. So I mean, come on, give her the MVP and let's get over it. So yeah, JJ for MVP. Good for her. Even good for her. 6th Woman of the Year. Even though I hate to say it, Kelsey Plum gas to give Kelsey Plum the award. She's the she to me, without her, I don't think Vegas would be where Vegas is today. She's the X factor in that team. Derek Ambi is good, but when you put Kelsey Plum and Derek Ambi coming off the bench, come on, you are practically unstoppable because Kelsey Plum should be a starter in my opinion. Like on any other team, she probably would be a guard. She kind of has like she's no Joe Lloyd, of course not, definitely not. But she does what Joe Lloyd does for Seattle Storm. Like, okay, I used to have some a lot because they're my team, so I kind of use them as a reference. She does what Joe Lloyd does for Seattle Storm, which is the person that backs up the primary scorer. That's what she does. So that's who she is. So she should be a starter in my opinion. But of course, Bill Lambert feels to be better if she comes off the bench, which makes a lot of sense. Because sometimes when everybody's just tired and just needs that punch, and she just comes and just gives the energy, gives the scoring. It's like having a starter coming off the bench. So she has been the X factor of that Vegas team. I don't think Vegas will be where they are without her. Because they practically are apart from this count, that Vegas team is weird. But definitely Kelsey Plum is going to, if the Vegas wins the championship, which I really hope they don't, I think it's going to be on the back of Kelsey Plum having a massive game. And because when you look at Vegas team, who do they have as a guard that can score? Chelsea Gray is not that great, no offense. As a scorer, she's like 10 points per game. That's not what we're looking for. With Connor Williams, same thing, 10 points like a Jackie Young. She can't score, but she can't score like that. So by then you put those 3 together, then you bring Kelsey Plum and Derek Ambi up the bench. Come on, they're going to be tough to beat. I give it to them. So Kelsey Plum, 100%, 6th Woman of the Year. Honestly, nobody else comes to mind. So give it to her. She's good. She deserves it. Next, most improved. I mean, I don't like having 5 people deserve one. There's a clear winner in my mind, and that winner should win it. For like I said, MVP JJ, 6th Woman of the Year, Kelsey Plum, most improved player, Brian Jones. No mistaking about it. She and JJ are the reason why Connecticut are where they are right now. Look at them. Those they are. I mean, Duana Bona is Duana Bona. She's going to do what she does. So she has always been a constant. So I mean, a lot of teams have a Duana Bona and nothing like Gina Charles. Nothing good came out of it. But by the time you add JJ, you add Duana Bona, then you have Bridget. Come on. It's like she really has stepped up. She has come into her own. She's very confident. And I think it's because of JJ. It's like she knows she can't slack while JJ is there. It's like I can't be doing all this work and you people be doing nonsense. Like step up your game, all of you. Like I won't be here. I can't be doing all this and you guys be messing up. And I think they believe that they know that this is their chance, right? They know that this is their chance and they really don't want to let it slip by. So they really, really stepped up, especially after that Commissioner's Cup disaster. So I'm very impressed with them. 14 game winning streak is not a joke. It's crazy. So I will give it to her, definitely. Then for defensive player of the year, honestly, when I was thinking about this award, nobody came to mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nobody gives me. What the fuck is defensive player of the year? Nobody. Everybody is terrible. Not that they are terrible, but like they don't stand out. Brenna Stewart is a very good defensive player, but I wouldn't give her the defensive player of the year because I know she blocks. Like none of them are great. Like they are good, but then they don't stand out. Like oh, this is a lockdown. Okay, maybe Brian January, but no, she doesn't. She doesn't stand out. Doesn't stand out. Doesn't stand out. Honestly, for me, there's nobody's worth it. Nobody's worth it. Defensive player of the year. I want to be surprised because I was thinking maybe Britney Sykes, but then LA did not even make the playoffs. So why are you in any award category? Imagine putting someone that didn't make the playoff as defensive player of the year. It's terrible. Maybe Silver Fowles. Yeah, I guess. Maybe Silver Fowls. Maybe. Maybe. None of them. Nobody's worth it. Nobody has like stood out in my opinion. We're like lockdown defense. Like last year, we're like Alicia Clark locked down. She will kill you. Maybe Brian January. Yeah, maybe Ariel 8K. But then Mystic didn't make the playoffs. So what are you lockdown defending when you didn't make the playoffs? Like I don't anybody that wins this award, your team should have at least made the playoffs and at least be a top 4 team. Honestly, anybody that wins this all these awards, what's the point? Like, what's the point? Oh, with all the I'm defensive of the year and my team didn't make playoffs. So why are you there? Like, what's your purpose? So defensive of the year, anybody's award, I really don't care. And that's why I gave to Kanishpaka last year. From our friend, nobody even understands what the award is all about. Because honestly, I don't really like what are the metrics. What metrics do they track in this defensive player of the year? It doesn't I don't like the award. Don't pay. Yeah, so that's it for individual awards. My thoughts are really clear, very, very clear. All right, so we move to let me talk about the individual performances starting from the bottom. So this season, there were thoughts, there were opinions. Everybody had at the beginning of the year, everybody had takes. Oh, who is going to make the playoffs? I had takes. Who is going to make the playoffs? Who's not going to make the playoffs? Who's going to this? Who's going to that? And so we're like, oh, time will tell. Time will tell. Even me, I kept jumping up and down, like, who's going to make the playoffs? Who's not going to make the playoffs? And I think some of my predictions are right. I said Indiana was definitely not making the playoffs, and Atlanta was not. I didn't think Washington was going to not make the playoffs. I thought they were going to make playoffs, but maybe Dallas or maybe New York was not going to make playoffs. So I was very shocked with that. Not shocked. I mean, with the way the season was going, it was really not. It was they had a chance. Anyway, I'll get to them when I get to them. Indiana Fever was a mess. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They were a mess. Hot mess. Like, hot roving. Why are you a team mess? Like, I'm surprised they even won 6 games. Honestly, they should have won just 2. Because at the beginning, when they had, like, they lost. They had, like, there was one time where they had, like, 12 games losing streak. Then they won. They won to Connecticut Sun. They lost to Connecticut Sun. Sorry, they won. Connecticut Sun lost to them. Then everybody said, oh, maybe they were sensible again, but they weren't, and they still became bad. Sometimes they would lose. they can just show a little bit of fire and win. But it was just a up and up. Then they had injuries. Then all the people, then all the new people got sick. Then their draft pick was a burst. Oh, it was just a poorly constructed roster. The way I look at that team is like, look at the team that wants to succeed, right? They know, okay, we are not there yet. We are not there yet, but we have the pieces like Dallas. Last week, okay, no, let's look at New York Liberty. Let's use New York Liberty as a last season was a disaster. Everybody knows that, but you could see that it was the building blocks for something that was going to be great in the future, right? So they had the pieces. Okay, they had Sabrina. Of course, she got injured, so there was really not nobody to talk about that. So they got a bunch of rookies and they had a new coach. So you could say, okay, let's try and build something here. So you could see that they were building something. Were they there yet? No, they weren't. And this season, you could see with the moves they made, getting Ashta Howard, getting Sammy Whitcomb, getting rid of some of the rookies, you could see that okay, we saw what we did last season. It wasn't great, and we had the building blocks, and we just let's continue to build, and that's what they did. And now they made playoffs, no matter even though it was they got in by like an air's breadth, but hey, they made the playoffs, and that is I mean they won 2 games last season, and now they made the playoffs, meaning that they made some moves that directly impacted them to make the playoffs. But you see a team like Indiana Fever. Last season was a disaster. They barely made. I think it was the same 6-22, probably even maybe 4-22. It was a terrible season last year. Hold on. Let's look at it. Yeah, 6. Same 6-16. Same. They lost. They lost the same. They won same games. They won last season, this season. So you could see that no progress has been made. In fact, they are regressing. Honestly, they are regressing. So you could see that from what they did last season. Hold on. Let me look at 2019 season. 2019. That's why I like data. Numbers don't lie. Hope my internet is not my fault. So my internet is messed up. Okay, no, that's not it. So I'm sure the 2019 was bust. So you that no progress has been made towards having a sensible season or a season that is not lost. Like no progress. It's just the same old mediocre signings, signing mediocre players, not making any moves to even get a franchise player that can carry a team. Like at least you had Sabrina, you had Nasha Howard for New York Liberty. Indiana Fever, if this was even that, oh, we made the moves, then some people got injured, and because of that, our season became but no, they didn't make any moves. Like it was just a disaster. It was really, really bad. I'm not. It wasn't bad that they were last. Of course, somebody has to be last, but it's just the way they did it. The fact that everybody knew they were going to be last, and they ended up being last. So it's like, why are you a team? Like, get better for Christ's sake. You've been doing this for a while. Get better. I know, I was just disappointed. And it got to a point where I didn't even want to watch their games because like, they were going to lose, they were not going to make the playoffs. So what's the point of watching their games? Honestly, I was just disappointed with them. I hope they get the fire. It was like New York Liberty last season. I was like, oh, whatever. Also, like, why am I watching their games? We're going to lose anyway. There was just no fire behind the team, and I don't know. It was just sad to watch. I wasn't happy. They could have done better. Anyway, I was this apathy towards the team, and you don't want that. You don't want. You want to be excited about everything. Like, what is your identity? Like, everybody knows LA Sparks defense. New York Liberty they shoot the threes. Dallas very scrappy, and Arike football and our craziness. Like every team has kind of like an identity. But in the end of it, I was just like lost. Like, who are you? Like sometimes you play well, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you defend, sometimes you don't. If I start talking about them, sorry, I'll sleep here. So let's just move on. All right. We move to Atlanta. Atlanta too. I actually don't mind. Atlanta, I'm okay with them losing because I mean, they had a very funny season. At the beginning of the season, they were okay, but towards the end, they kind of fell apart a little bit. But I could understand them because, like I said, these are teams that they did have some really good pieces. Like they had Stephen Hayes is a very good player. They had Kenneth Carter at the beginning of the year. They had Courtney Williams, an excellent player. So they kind of were the teams. They had some really, really good, like really good guards. So everybody knew them for their guard play, so they could really, really score on you. But of course, you could see that they had a little bit of internal gelling. They just did internal gelling. So because of that, kind of messed their rhythm. Well, their coach was not their coach. The coach television, then they had a coach that quit in the middle of the season. Then they had another coach. Then Kenneth Carter, whatever happened there. So it was kind of, I kind of understand Atlanta. Like what I'm saying is that sometimes bad things happen. It's fine. I understand that. But for Indiana, it's like you made bad things happen. Like you didn't try. I think for me, trying is really where they failed. So for Atlanta, I'm okay. Like, yeah, they'll get better. They have the building blocks. Getting Candy Dupree, I don't know why they bothered, but hey, yeah, Cheyenne Parker got pregnant, so it's like they had to replace her with someone. So it was a lost season for them, especially with all the things that went down. So I kind of even they knew, so they were just trying to let's see what we can do, let's see how we can rotate our players and things like that. So it was all right. I have no problem with them. I'm okay with the way it played out, and I hope they get better next season. But where I'll have a problem with them is if they whatever it is that is wrong with them, if they carry it into next season. So they're supposed to do a diagnosis. Okay, what were the good, where were the bad, and then take the good and of course consolidate and get better. So my problem. So next season, if whatever it is, if they are here again, then we can start talking. You get. But Indiana Fever, I'm out. Forget them. So LA Sparks, LA, LA. I have not said them. LA was LA. Yeah, it was one of those seasons, teams where they are rebuilding, I guess. They lost Candice Parker, lost Chelsea Gray. It's a big blow on any franchise, and they didn't get anybody that could even remotely do what they did. So yeah, so it was only natural that they were going to fall flat. And yeah, they did. They didn't have them. This team doesn't have an offense. Like apart from Erica Wheeler, which I've never really understood that kind of play. Like I think she's guard, she scores, she's like Courtney Williams kind of thing, but she doesn't carry a team. Like she's not going to carry a team. You get you had a PG that wasn't that great. Chrissy Oliver was in and out. Theo Cooper too young to be experienced. It was just a weird roster. I didn't expect anything good to come out of LA Sparks this year. And yeah, nothing really good came out of them. And they did win 12 games. And they won some games that they had no business winning. Like one with Seattle. I had no idea. But when we get to Seattle, we'll talk about that because I had no idea what went down in that game. So yeah, so they showed some spunk once or twice, but all in all, it wasn't a great season. They lost 20 games. That's a sign of a good season. Zero offense. They had good defense because they had people like Sykes. They had people like who were even under there was like Inika Gumike, and that could really ramp up the pressure. They started winning when she came back, but it was already too late. They already dug themselves into a hole, and they had a very strong schedule. So, LA Sparks, I hope next season, let's see what Derek Fisher does. Personally, the people say, oh, Derek Fisher should be fired. I don't think he should be fired yet. Okay, I don't know. I think honestly, there's no coach that was going to do anything good or great with those players. Not that players were not good, they just didn't gel. There was just no great player. There was just no. It wasn't a winning team. The composition was weird, and then a lot of people were in and out. It was just a weird thing. So let's see what moves he makes next year. Then we can now say whether he's looking at the future or he's looking at the past. It's understandable that they were going to have a lot of troubles because they lost so many players and they didn't get anybody that could replace them in that sense. Washington Mystics, I really, really thought that I had high hopes that they were going to make playoffs. I thought they were a good team. I don't know why they messed up they had two opportunities to make three opportunities to make the playoffs, and they didn't capitalize on it. Probably because Tina Charles was like Tina Charles carried that team. She carried it on her head, and there's only so much you can expect from one player to carry a team. If Deladon was there, she would have definitely made a difference. But she only played 2 games, and I don't think she should have even come back, in my opinion. So yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, I honestly, with what they had, I really thought they were going to like Maisha Hines, Allen, Kimaisha was in and out. Deladon was, I mean, of course, Deladon she didn't play. Tina Charles tried everything she could. National Cloud was in and out, and Mitchell. Yeah, so there really was not much they could do. They did try. I like them. They shot a lot of trees. They really showed a lot of spunk. Just didn't have it. You just didn't have. Sometimes you just don't have it, and they didn't. And they didn't. It happens. I'm sorry. They just didn't have it. Sorry. I really thought they were going to make playoffs, but they had chances and they didn't capitalize on it. And because New York had it, even though they didn't live to their potential, but New York was a team that they had what it took to make the playoffs. And they did over Washington. So at the stretch, you could see that either you had it or you don't. And LA and Washington just didn't have what it took to get to the other side, and that's what New York had. New York and Dallas. New York had Okodia Sabrina, which was like supposed to be the superstar of the WNBA, and she did prove awards. All the detractors, all the Sabrina distractors, she did prove awards. She proved awards that she was. I think she proved awards that she could be a franchise player. And in her first year, I'm not saying she took them, of course. If she was only her, they wouldn't have gone anywhere. But they did make the playoffs in the first year she played a full season. So it's the love. The babe, she's not that, but she's good. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy that she at least proved people wrong. How many number one picks in codes can say they took their team to the playoffs their first year of playing or second year, but you understand. So, I mean, something she should be proud of, and I'm very happy that she made it. New York is a team that they are not there yet. I think they have a terrible coach. I'm sorry, but they do. I feel with those players, they should be doing more than they are doing. All those three. It just doesn't make sense. Like 3 is good, but what of the day the 3 decide not to form? And people can always plan against it. It's like, oh, New York shoots 3s. Oh, defend against it. It's very easy. Like you can't put all your baskets on shooting the 3s. It will work, of course, sometimes, but sometimes it just won't work. So I think they need a better coach because they have some really good players. Nasha Howard, I would hang my head on Nasha Howard any day. She is a brilliant player. She just needs this coaching. I'll hang my head on Nasha Howard. I will definitely hang my head on Sammy Whitcomb. She's definitely a fantastic player. They have Sabrina, another great player. They have Benite and Lady, and just like they're starting line of 4 fantastic players. Then they have the backup. Maybe their backup is not that great. I won't lie. So he got rid of Alicia Carradine, which I didn't understand why. I thought she was good. I thought she should have brought something really, really good to that team. So he got rid of her and put who was then Beck Allen is good, but she's like a one-dimension player, like 3s. I think she does this well defending. So they have an okay roster. Yeah, so I can understand why they did make it to the top. Yeah. Dallas, the team nobody wants to. So the team nobody wants to fall. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to meet Dallas at the playoffs. So let's not even joke with that. Nobody wants to meet them because Dallas they are funny. Sometimes they just play nonsense. Like they play like dog shit sometimes. Like I was like, why are you guys a team? They just incoercive. Rike just goes rogue sometimes. But sometimes they do put together a good game of basketball. So it's like what version of that? They're like Seattle Storm, but the worst version of Seattle Storms. Like Seattle Storm is better than them, but they're like, what version of Dallas are we going to see today? Are we going to see the really good Dallas that are not that good, but at least on a given day they can definitely show some spunk? Or are we going to see the Dallas that is completely disintegrated, terrible rotations, they have no idea what to do? Are we going to see that? So it's like in playoffs, what version of Dallas are we going to see? So I'm very excited to see what Dallas are. Are we here? I mean, like, it's about time. He spent 3 years in the league. That at some point she had to take her team to the playoffs. Now let's see how. And these are first-time playoff guy people. So at least last year they didn't make playoffs. This year they made playoffs. So it's good. I'm happy that they did. So let's see what they can do. Let's see how they can shake things up. All right. I'm trying to be fast now. I try to keep this under 40 minutes. Chicago Sky. Yeah, I've thought. I really have thought. Chicago Sky is there. I don't know about that. I mean, it was a team where at the beginning of the year, everyone, so it seemed like Dallas, like, oh, if Dallas makes playoffs, that's going to be great. If New York makes playoffs, that's going to be great. If Washington makes playoffs, okay, Washington was expected to make playoffs. But Chicago was like, oh yeah, of course, Chicago was going to make playoffs. But it was like, what seed were they going to do? Like, what seed? Like, were they going to be the fourth seed? Were they going to be the fifth seed? Like, were they going to be the first number one seed? Like, what seed was Dallas, Chicago going to? That was the question. And people were like, oh, okay, they've been like number 6 seed for like forever. It's like last year they were 6 seed, so this year they are 6 seed. Like, and then because they were like, and so everybody expected them to do better. So my own point is that it's about doing better. It's not about keeping doing what you were doing before. It's about doing better. So it seems like Chicago. Let's look at them. Last year they were number 6. If I'm not, because I know they did a single elimination and they were knocked out at first round. I think. I think they were knocked out first round. Why is the internet messing up today? Anyway, yeah, they were knocked out at first round. They were. So they were knocked out first round. And so because they were like, they didn't have them, they just needed something, an X factor to take them over the edge. Because they were a good team. They had Costivanos, they had Alec Quigley, Diamond the Shield. Okay, they didn't even have Diamond the Shields. So they didn't have Diamond the Shield and they still got to 6. So they didn't have Diamond the Shield. And this lady that was in the bubble, what's her name? That won a gold medal. Stephanie Dawson. Yeah, to the Stephanie Dawson. So they're like, oh yeah, they had a fun team that made it to the 6th seed last year and they got knocked out. So that was good. So last year was good for them. Then they were like, oh, this year they just needed something extra. They had a fantastic team. Stephanie Dawson was returning, Diamond Shields was returning, everybody was returning. They just needed like the X factor to just take them over the edge. And that X factor was Candice Parker. Yeah. And they are still number 6. So please someone do the math. What's changed? Did anything change? I expected them to be number 3 at least. Maybe because everybody was like, oh, Seattle was going to be number 6. So I was like, so who are the people that are going to like come in for Seattle since Seattle like lost a lot of people? So like Chicago was one of the people coming, Phoenix was one of the people coming for Seattle, Minnesota, those were the teams like Chicago was like a mainstay, like, oh my God. Chicago is going to be like 3rd seed. They're going to be like playoff contenders. They're going to be like, yeah. And they ended up the season with 16-16. That was like 500 on the dots. That's like, I mean, I'm not saying that they did bad. I'm just saying this is a very mediocre performance for a team that we expected so much of. Of course, I can understand Candice Parker was injured half of the season, but even when she came in, the fire, the X factor wasn't there. And so I'm really not surprised that they are 16-16. And that's all I have to say. I really hope they try and at least make it to the second round. I think that'll be better than last year. Let's hope. But I don't really have much thoughts about it. I don't think Coty Vandersloot is that great. I think they have a shit coach. Sometimes they did get 3 games over Seattle, which was really weird. I'll get to that. So that was something. But there's some games that they expect to win, they lost. So they just didn't play with. They didn't play with what I expected. Honestly, same thing with Phoenix. Phoenix is another underperforming team that I expected to be better than they are, even though they are 19-13, which is not a bad record when you look at it. And they had the 50, and they didn't play with Diana Taurasi almost half of it. I think she played only um half of the season. And she's a very key part in the offense. I think when they get it together, especially with Diana Taurasi involved, I do think they're very dangerous. Diana Taurasi really brings this extra factor, even though she has slowed down. She does bring a little bit of the it factor, like I always call it, into the team. And I feel they can definitely make some noise. I mean, there are some good players. Kyla is good if she gets her head right. Brittany Griner is always consistent. Kenneth is terrible, but sometimes she has moments of brilliance. Shea Pendy is actually not a bad. She's also a very good defender. So she's actually a good person to have on because becoming there are some good players. But I think when you just add without them, they're like an okay team, like kind of like a Chicago Sky, honestly. With Candice Parker, is just an average team, honestly. I that's it. But by then you add a little bit of Diana Taurasi, she just changes dynamics of the team for some reason. I don't know how she does it. So by the time if you add Diana Taurasi, I think they would have the X factor and they can really make some noise. So I'm really excited to see what they do in the playoffs. I'm not sold yet because, like I said, they had Diana for just half of the season. So I want to see what she does. Like I wanted to see if Diana in that game with Seattle, if she would have been the difference maker, they would have won that game. But no, I wouldn't know because she didn't play. So I'd like to see how she does in playoffs. Let's see when a game is on the line. Maybe like in the second round, a game is on the line and they need to win. Like what can they do? I'd like to see. Then I go back to my one and only, the only team I love, the most frustrating team in the world. In fact, I have noticed Seattle Storm. Honestly, I can't. I don't even know what to say. How do I start? Like, this is my team. Everybody knows that. But, oh my God, Seattle. Why? 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 Seattle, I don't. Are they? Who are they? Like, who are they? Because I think they I'm speechless because they say it's when you like someone that you're judging you judge the person harshly. Like I know I judge things harshly, but Seattle Storm is like I extra judge them because I know they can be better than this. They can be better than this. They are better than this. So why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Like, how do you not be a number one and two seed? It could have easily been. They could have easily been not easily, but like you get what I'm saying. They had it, but they lost it. I don't know why. Yeah. Like I said, I've always said this year, Shannon is not winning championship this year. There's no way they are not winning this year. They just don't have it. Like I always say, it's either you have it or you don't. This year, Seattle does not have it. I thought they were having it, like at the end, like when they finished with the fifth seed and the way they were playing going into the Olympic break, you see that they were feeling it. Like the bench players were stepping up. So I thought, oh my God, they were getting their chemistry. They were getting, because Subed always said, oh, we are still learning each other. Like, okay, so I was like, okay, going into the Olympic break, like, okay, they won quite a number of games. They're number one in the WNBA. They've lost only 5 games out of 19, I think. Was it 19? Yeah, it was like 19 or 18. It was 18. Anyway, they've lost only like 5 games. So I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So maybe they're like gelling. So I kind of expected them to like come back and be like Connecticut Sun and like blow everybody away and just gel and continue gelling. Oh God, when they came back, Commissioner's Cup was fun, but to me, I think that was a fluke. I'm sorry. Connecticut didn't have it and Seattle had it. So let's forget Commissioner's Cup. But yeah, Commissioner's Cup definitely boosted my interest. Like, oh yeah, Seattle has it. Then the momentum just shifted and it wasn't in their favor. And all of a sudden, They lost 2 games. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Subed was not playing, Siwa wasn't playing, and they did show a little bit of fight in the Chicago game. So, okay, without their starter, and they are giving Chicago a fight, even though Chicago, in my opinion, it's not a great team. Like I said, they're very underperforming. They're not that great. So like, they shouldn't even be fighting with Chicago. Like they should have shown Chicago like at least. So like it's fine. Brennan Siwa was in there. I can understand. He went down to the wire. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. New York Liberty. Yeah, that was shit. Terrible performance. Forget your Lloyd putting up points. Like the bench did not. Oh my god, it's fine. There was no Subert. I'm okay with that. Brianna Sewell didn't play. Joe Lloyd was tired in the third quarter. Nobody stepped up. It's fine. We're okay with that. Let's see momentum. Let's see. Then they came back. Subert they played the Washington Mystics. They won. Okay, Subed was there, then Sewell was there. They didn't play that great, but like, okay, they're still getting into the vibe of the season. Let's see how it goes. So they're still getting into the vibe. Subed's first game back. Yeah. It's understandable. No problem. They won, so everybody was happy. No problem. Second game, New York Liberty. They didn't play that great, but at least they shot 27%. If not that New York Liberty is a very funny team. They probably would have lost that game, but okay, it's fine. They played, they won. Then everything, the wheels completely fell off the Seattle train. At home, with some days to rest, everything was supposed to be back to normal. Everything was supposed to be back to normal. And they went to Minnesota and they fucked up badly. Like, I was like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Minnesota is a good team. I can understand that. Of course, let's forget about it. Then they came and lost 2 games to Chicago. They won 3 games winning losing streak to Chicago. Minnesota, Chicago. Oh my god. I was like, what the fuck? No excuse. Seattle is over. The season is over. They can't come back from this. Yeah, they just can't. That was it. To me, in my opinion, I was like, that was it. It was gone. Gone. That is not winning championship. They weren't going to win anyway, but they're not going to smell it. At least I thought they were going to be in semi-finals at least. But I don't think they will be. At this rate, with the way they are playing, it's going to be terrible. They're going to be eaten alive. Oh, Seattle it's bad. It's bad. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Anyway, let me snap out of it. It's just sad. Just sad that this is what Seattle has come to. Just on and the way they like then like it was like okay, Chicago was bad. Okay, it's fine. 3 games losing streak, it's fine. So they came back. They played against Washington. They won. Not bad. I think they played against New York and Washington again. They just played 2 games and they won. So that was fun. But I mean, they won Washington. I think they beat them by like 32 points. So like, oh yeah, Seattle is back. I mean, they did play well. So oh yeah, Seattle is back. Then the worst happened. But in fact, to me, that was the worst loss of the season, losing to LA Sparks. LA Sparks. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like losing to Indiana Fever, only worse. Because you blew out 2 LA Sparks. Like you got blown, like getting blown out by the Indiana Fever. It's terrible. 81-53. LA Sparks does not shoot. And you give them 83 points, and then 53. Seattle, I don't care if Brianna Stokes was in there. It doesn't matter. Brianna Stokes, I can't. I just can't. I can't. It was bad. So that's when I knew that, you know what, fuck it. I'm done. Not that I'm done with Seattle, of course. Seattle is my team. But like I mean like my hopes are if they are not winning championship, that's fine. It happened. They won last year, so it's like it's okay. I mean, the season was a bust. So it's kind of like, okay, I know why they made some of the dumb choices they made, like Candice Dupree, Katie Lou, Stephanie Talbot. Okay, so now Talbot's actually okay. Like getting rid of Sammy Wickham. Just made some stupid choices this offseason. So I'm like, we get why they did it because we're building for the future, which is like, okay, they needed to open a lot of cap space for Joe Lloyd and Brianna Stewart and maybe Subert. But I don't think Subert is playing next year. Honestly, I think this is the year she retires. And because I just feel she like after the Olympics, she just hasn't been herself even during the Olympics, but after the Olympics, you could just see that there's something about her that is just off. And when she's off, Seattle is off. I know Brianna Stewart is like of course, she's the star of the team, but Subert is also a very like she's a leader. She's like the emotional like center. She's like the hype person. So if she's off, you can just tell that the team also goes off when she is off. So and she has been off. I know people will not see it, but I mean, her trees have been off. The way she just the energy is just not there. I think she's not because of her age or anything. I just think she's just tired. I think she's not because of her age. Please don't quote me. I don't see the age. I just think you've been playing for so long, and the Olympics really took a toll because I can't imagine how hard that one. And she played so many minutes in that Olympics. She was kind of like the emotional center of that team during the Olympics. And like I said, Isabel is off, everybody's off. So she kind of had to be on throughout the Olympics. And because of that, I think it just drained her. Honestly, like when she came back into the season, you could tell that she was just over it. She was just over it, honestly. I was like, no, give it some time. Maybe she'll get back. But I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen it in her. So I don't blame her, honestly. After a while, I just get tired, honestly. Mentally, physically. Sometimes I just want to go home and just sleep. So I feel that was because when when she told Megan that she was exhausted, like that was like the first thing you say is I'm exhausted, meaning that thing was draining, physically draining for her. And because of that, she just couldn't bring the energy. You could see the difference between the first half of the season and the second half of the season. You could see the difference in her playing style. She never shot she never made like 3 points a game. She always like 10 points at least, like 7. But now she's like making 3 points. Some games she won't even get a shot. Like she just doesn't care. She doesn't care. And I think that's really one of the main reasons why Seattle has been. She is just over it. And I honestly don't blame her. She has 4 championships. What's she chasing anymore? I mean, that's what I feel. So if she can get it back, whatever it is, because I know if she bets on, there's no way Seattle is losing. So if she can get it back, whatever it is that she has lost, the fire, I guess, she can get it back by the playoffs. If Brianna can, of course, do the Brianna we know and love. If Joel Lloyd can be the Joel Lloyd that put up 22 points in the quarter against Mercury, now that was the Seattle that I loved. But then Diana Taurasi was in there, so like, can't Seattle beat a full Phoenix team? And don't forget the fourth quarter where they allowed Phoenix to come back. It's like, seriously, why would you do that? And they came within 4 points. Like, why would you do that? So Seattle is a very funny team. So bottom line, if Subert is Subert that I know I love, 10 points per game Subert, shooting threes at the right time Subert. If she's the Subert, if Brianna Stewart is Brianna Stewart, 35 points Brianna Stewart, crazy Brianna Stewart, unguardable Brianna Stewart. If Joe Lloyd, 22 points Joe Lloyd in a quarter, Joe Lloyd is there. If Jonah Canada can be Jonah Canada, just like driving to the paint, getting the right, just doing what Jonah Canada does, and well, Stephanie Talbot can be Stephanie Talbot, shooting threes at the right time, good defense, easy. If easy can be easy, like do the right thing, not miss stupid layups like she did in the Mercury game. Defend, rebound, just do what she's supposed to do. If Philip Prince can be fulfilling, shooting threes when she needs to shoot threes, like 10 points a game, 15 points a game, kind of extra points. And where else, if Mrs. Russell can just step up her game a little bit. I know people think she's great, but I don't think she's not Natasha Howard level. She can just step up her game a little bit, just a little bit, just step it up. I think Seattle has a shot. Honestly, I really do. But all these factors, like I mentioned, 6 factors, I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. They can't. They just can't do it. They can't, all 6 can work, and all 6 have to work for them to have a shot at the championship. And because of that, I don't think they will. So moving on. Sorry, I got too much on Seattle, but Seattle frustrates me. Seattle frustrates me. I move on from them. So Minnesota Lynx, I really have nothing to say about them. I feel they're a good team, but I feel Las Vegas Aces is going to, if they meet with the Aces, even the Storm, I think they will be swept. I honestly think they'll be swept. I think they're good. Like Sarah Powers is good. Ava Powers is really showing what she can do. Kayla McBride is getting lost a little bit. They're a good team. I mean, number 3 seed is no joke. I mean, they got their fair and square. They got there. So, and they are on a 4-game win streak, so that's impressive. I mean, I would like to see them what they can do. I'm not really impressed. Honestly, I know Minnesota Lynx is what I thought Chicago Sky was going to be. Yeah, let's say that. I thought Chicago Sky was going to be Minnesota. Like people that they are going to be there. They're going to be good, but can they hang with like the top teams? Like those are that's what I thought. So I would like to see what they do in the playoffs. I don't really have much to say about them. ACs, I hope they don't win. That's what I have to say. But it's looking like they will because they are stacked. But lately, it's like they too are suffering from the Olympic situation because Asia has not really been shining the way she was before the break. Chelsea Gray has not really been shining. But the beauty of Vegas, that Vegas is a fantastic bench. We have Jackie Young. They have like Jackie Young. They have Fiona Williams that can shoot the threes. She's really good at shooting threes, honestly. Then they have, of course, Kelsey Plum, Dereka Ambi. Just like there are some really good bench players. So and then Liz Cambage. Honestly, I don't think she should come back. I think she played against them. I think she played against She played against that final game. I think she was there. I've not really been there. I think the team works better without her. Honestly, I think there's something she does that just works the flow of the offense one way or another. Oh, she played. She had 4 points in 9 minutes. 4 points in 9 minutes. Anyway, AC might just win it, but I don't want them to. I really don't want them to. They'll get their time, maybe next year. I want Connecticut to win this season because I feel if they don't win it this year, they're not going to win it. Yeah, I feel this is their only chance. Aces will win. They'll win another time. I mean, they have a good team. But I feel if Connecticut doesn't take advantage of this opportunity. And besides, they did sweep the Aces 3 times, so that is impressive. So I really hope Connecticut, whatever you did with the Aces, sweeping them 3 times in the regular season, I hope they do it this time. Because the Aces were a full team when they got swept. Connecticut were also a full team when they got swept. So I'd like to see but I'm looking at the Connecticut Las Vegas matchup. So let's look at the matchups. Before I round up. Playoff matchup. So we have a New York Phoenix. Oh God, Phoenix is going to wipe New York away. Like sweep them, like take them to their mama, make them cry. That's what Phoenix is going to do. Then we have a Chicago Dallas. Honestly, I think Dallas is going to win this. So I'm taking Dallas and I'm taking a Phoenix. Great. So that means that Seattle will meet Phoenix, Minnesota will meet Dallas. It's going to be fun. So Seattle Phoenix, that is going to be the game of the century. But I still feel Seattle will come out on top. I feel Seattle will come out of it. I mean, Seattle is a very problematic team, but they are my team, so I got to give them a benefit of doubt that with Phoenix single game, Seattle will be on top. It's very sketchy. It could be anybody's game, honestly, because those teams. But then Seattle has Brianna Stewart and Mercury doesn't. But then Mercury has Brianna Griner, Seattle doesn't. So let's see. I don't know who's going to win, but I'll take Seattle. Then Dallas and Minnesota, of course. Minnesota is going to wipe the floor off Dallas. So it's going to be Minnesota. So then we now see a Connecticut and Seattle and Las Vegas, Minnesota. I think Seattle can win. I want Connecticut to win this championship. So I think Seattle can actually play Seattle and Connecticut and win, honestly, in my opinion, because they've done it and they can't do it again. Of course, this is a different Connecticut sort team, and they have Alexa Thomas, so that could be a game changer. But for the sake, because I want Connecticut to win, I would say Connecticut would win best of 4, game 4. 4 games, it's going to be a 4-game series. It's not going to be a sweep. Not going to be a sweep. So Connecticut to win the semifinals, and Las Vegas will definitely win. Although Minnesota Lynx can put up a fight, but I believe in Vegas. Let's pick Vegas. So Vegas win, even though I don't want them to. And then it's going to be a Connecticut Las Vegas finals, like we've all predicted. And Connecticut is going to win, but it's going to be best of 5. It's going to be best of 5. I'm going to love it. So that's it. Winner Connecticut for the first time in franchise history. No one deserves it better. This is their year. They came out. They had a fantastic season, losing only 6 games, 14-game win streak. Come on, doesn't get better than that. And most importantly, they lost to Indiana Fever. And anybody that loses to Indiana Fever wins the championship. And that's the end of my video. So thanks everybody. If you didn't watch, I really ranted a lot. So I wish so I'm going to watch playoffs. At least I promised myself I'm going to watch every single game of these playoffs, every single interesting, crazy game of these playoffs. And at the end, when we have a champion, I'm going to do another video to wrap everything all up. And I hope either Connecticut or Seattle, one of those two, I pray, are the champions when I get back. Hopefully Connecticut, because they really, really need to win. I like Seattle, but Seattle, this is not your year. But if anybody, aside of Connecticut, if I wanted anyone to win, it will be Seattle stuff. And if Seattle doesn't win and Connecticut doesn't win, I would really, really like Phoenix to win this, because the other Toronto deserves another championship to cement our good status. All right, that's it from me, from my end. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day. Thank you.